Jaya Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari. Yeah, that's easy. How did that run? There's got his thumbs up.
Hari Hari Bo.
Hey, Hari. What a beautiful kirtan. You guys rock it. It was wow.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
joining,
so much.
Prabhu.
Thank
So
you
good. So good.
Yeah.
So we'll do one Jai Radha Madhava.
Oh,
You want to
please.
put that on the chat?
I can find it. I can find it.
So people can follow.
Yay,
yeah.
thank you.
Or whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do.
You want to play? Put the song. You can do the top thing, yeah. You can do the top thing, yeah. I'll move on. Taking the harmonium apart. There you go. Jai Radha Madhava Jai Gopi Jana Jaya Girivardhari Gopi Jana Radha Shamasundar ki. Hare Krishna. All right, Dakshi Gopal. This is the question brought up to. Who was it brought up to? Maitreya Muni asked this question. Parashar Muni. Kashipu was killed by Lord Nṛsiṁhadeva. Why wasn't he liberated? Shishupal was liberated when he was killed by Krishna. Why wasn't Kashipu liberated when he was killed by Nṛsiṁhadeva? And Nṛsiṁhadeva somebody else? Is he Krishna? Is he not? Is he less than Krishna? What's going on there? That was one of the questions. How you guys doing? Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting us. That was awesome.
Well, I think we can do this every Wednesday. And over here, we're supposed to have some snow, ice, and so all the stores are closing. Maybe there's like 2 millimeters of snow or something. I don't know. But yeah, the thing's closed down. Snowflakes are shown in the sky in Texas. It doesn't even stick. Close the door, close everything. No, but it might. It's already raining though, so if it, it's definitely going below freezing. So then that's already quite dangerous. So we have our local exalted souls here, Bali and Shakshi, but we didn't get any like our newcomer guests here, other than you guys. So that's cool because the snow would have the weather kind of slows everything down. Any questions?
Always.
Always.
Yeah, I actually today have like so I was listening the wisdom of the sages in the morning, and so it came to me, right, like something like that it's not related to the show, but still, like I was like, so we are entitled, right, to for example, everyone can be Brahma or Indra, or it's not a soul that it's entitled to the name,
The position, yeah.
Exactly. So in the same way, I was like, so everyone can be Gauranga Nishta Das, right? Everyone can be well, I don't know about other souls, but I was like wondering, is it that far? Or I mean, of course there might be many Gauranga Nishta Das, like there might be quite a few around, right? But
so you have your own particular, imagine Baskin Robbins. It says one flavor. No, there's like 31. They celebrate. There's 31 flavors. So you got your own flavor, and Krishna has his own relationship with you. And only you can reciprocate with Krishna with that flavor. Out of the quadrillion souls that are existing in like this like block, all the bacteria, only you are able to satisfy Krishna with that flavor. So there's only one you, and Krishna he's waiting for you. He's like, I got so many Gauranga Nishtas, man. I got this you. Like you go to the spiritual world, and it's like you're just waiting in line. You got to wait like a couple billion hours, because there's all these other Gauranga Nishtas just in line. No, Krishna, he multiplies his form unlimited times. One form for each devotee, as we see in the pastime where Krishna marries 16,108 princesses. He makes a 16,108 palaces. And then he has a wedding Now this is the part that's inconceivable. Okay, you hear of yogis can manifest their body up to 9 times, but they can't do a variety of different actions. They can like do the same thing, something like that. Something I've. Now Krishna is manifesting 16,108, and Narada Muni went to go visit him, and they're all doing completely different things. But when the wedding came, Vasudev, Devaki went to all the weddings. Not Vasudev, Devaki. His whole family went to all the weddings, all at the same time. So there were 16,108 Vasudevs. And 16,000, Krishna made his associates appear in 16,108 different forms. So all kinds of inconceivable things happen.
And that was autonomous. Like they
simultaneously.
Like, wow.
So it wasn't even just Krishna, it was his associates doing all kinds of amazing things.
Okay, wow. Yeah. I mean, I have trouble just by myself doing one thing at a time.
And then we say, I'm God. Really tired shoes.
That's big words.
Dana K, how you doing, Dana K?
Doing good. I'm much better now. That really
All right. Glad we are here, able to serve you nicely. Carmen G, how you doing?
Hello. I'm doing well. How are you?
Very good. How things in El Paso?
So everything's good. I think we're gonna get snow tonight.
Oh, just like us, yeah.
Yeah, like it's extremely cloudy and everyone says it might snow.
How's your
So-
big sister?
She's doing good. We found out she got COVID,
Oh
but
no,
she's doing well.
mild. Before it was
Yeah.
like somebody told you got cancer. Now it's like, oh, I had a headache for an hour or something. I don't know. So, Carmen, give us a question.
I don't have any at the moment.
Okay, so here's the question that I asked all of you. So you had the incarnation of Nṛsiṁhadeva, and he gave, what is that called? There's all kinds of surgical terms. You know, there's hysterectomy when the woman gets her uterus removed. And then there's all kinds of something, ectomy. So what happens when your stomach gets removed? What is that called? Your intestines. Because Nṛsiṁhadeva, he did that medical surgery on Hiranyakashipu and removed his intestines. So Hiranyakashipu, Dana K, I think you know this story. You know the story of Lord Nṛsiṁhadeva?
Yes.
Give me a little bit more.
Okay, so there's a 5-year-old boy. Oh, let's go back. How far back? Let's just go back to the 4 naked babies.
I'm bad with
Okay.
names, so
Okay.
sometimes I know the stories, but then I forget the names.
All right, so Brahma has 4 sons. They're sages. They're called the 4 Kumara. What does Kumara mean, Garanganishta?
It's like an age, I'll say, a state, like 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah, it just means like a kid. So
Yeah,
their names are the
like a
4
toddler.
kids. So the 4 kids, and they were actually one of the oldest beings in the universe, but they didn't want to be troubled by this one thing called sexual desires. Like, we'll waste our time with that. We're Brahmins. We're looking for Brahman. We're looking for God. We don't want to be pushed by this material desire, that material desire. They said, okay, let's just, so that with their yogic powers, they caused their body to never go past the age of 5. So they were great wise sages, but they did not have the material influence of an adult body. So they had great wisdom, but they didn't have that same lust and desire. And they had some innocence too. So they decided, hey, are they the oldest beings? They were created by the oldest being, Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma was trying to, one of his jobs is to populate the universe, to create the universe and see to the generations of all different beings. One way you populate the universe is you get 2 yogis, a yogi and a yogini called a Prajapati. And one of the powers of a yogi, of a Prajapati, or these powerful yogis, is Kamarupa. Kamarupa, what does Kama mean?
Desire.
Desire. What does Rupa mean?
Form.
Form. Yeah, there was like a BVD brand painted on the wall in India. It's Rupa. You got your form-fitted tidy whities. So form. So Kama Rupa, they can just change whatever form they desire. That's one of the powers. So the yogi and the Prajapati, progenate is where we get the English word progenate. So the Prajapati's duty was to manifest various species of life. And so you have the Prajapati and his wife appear as deer. And they mate, and then you have deer. The children don't come out as humans, they come out as deers because they turned into deers. So they can like genetically modify their body. They just totally can change according to their whatever they desire. And so Brahma, he wanted these 4 boys to do the same. And they're like, we ain't doing that. We're brahmachari. We're monks. We're not gonna do any of that. We're not getting married. We're not having kids. We're not having babies. We're not having family. We're not gonna have a job, because there's the old story of the yogi and his underwear. So there was a yogi. He lived just sitting in his, he was meditating. And all he had was his underwear. He had 2 pairs. And he was one day he was washing his underwear, and while he was had it hanging up, he noticed that this rat came and started eating at it. He's like, "Oh man, the rat's eating my only thing." So he decided to get a cat, and so then he got a cat. But then the cat was meowing all the time. He's like, "Okay, now I got to get a cow to give it some milk." But then he realized, cow is actually, it's a big thing to deal with. He's like, I got to get a wife. My wife was like, man, you need a house. We're not living in this cave. And so then he had to get a mortgage. And then he had to, get a job. Then he had to get refinanced. He had to, get loans, all these things. And then he got so fed up, he just left everything. Left his underwear behind, everything just left. So back to these 4 Kumaras, they're like the 4 babies. They're not even wearing anything. What is that? What is his name? The great sage. You know what he's called? Durvasa. Durvasa. You know what that means? Vasa means dress. Dur means bad. He's badly dressed. This means it's the word of saying he's naked. Pretty badly dressed today. Just don't have any clothes on. Just means he's naked. So these 4 naked babies, 4 naked kids, just show up. They decide, let's check out Vaikuntha. I want to go to the spiritual world. I want to see what that's like. Let's go see Vishnu, source of everything. And so they go to the pearly gates of Vaikuntha. Pass through one gate, the next gate, the next gate, the next gate, the next gate. And finally they get to the 7th gate. And these 2 gatekeepers there, Jai and Vijay, these 2 twins, beautiful darkish blue complexion, 4 arms, carrying different weapons. And they're like, halt! What are you can't be here. And these sages were upset. Anger is one of the last nartas to go. Sage may get rid of lust, like Vishwamitra Muni. He fell because of Indra sent Menaka. He was doing 60,000 years of meditation, but he lost it when he saw Menaka, and he had to start all over again. And then the next time, Indra sent another Apsara to disturb his meditation, a heavenly damsel, heavenly beauty. But he didn't feel lust this time, but he felt anger. And that also reset everything. He had to start all over again. Burned her to ashes with his eyes. So these sages, they got angry. They said, what kind of, they said, you don't, what did the guards say? They didn't, you don't belong here. And they said, no, you don't belong here. Because you're not seeing on a spiritual vision. What does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? Let's see. Kindly pass us Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18. How do you see? Let's see, the modes of material nature. That knowledge by which one undivided spiritual nature is seen in all living beings. Wow, we open it up. It was right there.
Really?
Yeah. Though they are divided into innumerable forms, you should understand to be in the mode of goodness. So that is not even yet outside of the material platform. That's like the highest level of mode of goodness, when you're able to see the soul in all creatures. It says, you guys aren't seeing like that. You're and that knowledge which one is attached to one kind of work is all in what's the next one? And that knowledge by which one sees in every different body a different type of living entity, you can understand the mode of passion. So you're judging us based on our bodies. You don't belong here. You should take birth in the material world. These sages, they cursed the gatekeepers. And the gatekeepers at this time became quite alarmed. And then the Lord appeared and said, actually, don't worry. This is all, it's going according to plan. Just don't have fear. So you guys can take birth 7 times as devotees, or 3 times as demons. Or like 3 times as demons. We don't want to stick around in the material world. They're quite smart. We think, it's not so bad here. They're like, no, we don't want to stick around here. And so immediately they took birth as the son of Kashyapa and Aditi. Aditi was troubling, pushing her husband to have sex during an inauspicious hour, the hour of the ghost. And he was one of the Prajapatis. He was one of those powerful beings. He's like, no. She kept on pushing. And he's like, okay, let's see what the result's going to be. She gave birth to these 2 sons that had bones of steel, just like completely powerful. When they were 5 years old, they start tossing around lions and tigers and slapping them around. And they started just wanting to take over the universe. 2 brothers, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. What's their 007 name? What is their James Bond name? Gold Cushion. Yeah, like James Bond, there's Goldfinger, the old James Bond movie, Goldfinger. Gold Cushion. And it really shows what he's into. He's into money, and he got his cushion, he's got his ladies. So he's into the ladies, the bed with the cushion with all his ladies and his money. He's this original gangster. Everyone else is trying to want to be Mr. Gold Cushion. And Gold Ghost, gold nature spirit. Yaksha is kind of like a kind of monster nature spirit kind of thing. And he was cool. He had like some tusks coming out of his mouth. Yaksha. Nice demon looking tusk. Very, very powerful. So they took over. Oh, this is a story. Bali, you guys might not know this story. Here's a story. So they're taking over the planets, and they also did what a lot of people do to gain more powers. What do people do to gain more powers? Austerities, tapasya. So they went to Kailash and meditated on Lord Shiva. And Narada Muni and Parvata Muni came there in the form of birds. And they would sit on the tree and they go, Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. And he had already a great enmity towards the Lord. He's a demon. He doesn't disbelieve in God. He wants to destroy God. He has great enmity. So Narada Muni, and he tried to meditate. He's like, this Om Namo Narayanaya, just like pick up something and throw it. And he would just get so angry and frustrated. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. And he was like just so upset. So he was trying to meditate like that. Narada Muni was pestering him in this way. And then Parvata Muni. And so they gave up. Could not do it. So they went back home. And in his frustration, he saw his wife. And that night he conceived Prahlad. He's like, get rid of his stress with his sexual indulgence. All the time meditating. Om Namo Narayanaya. Just like, Om Namo, just in his head going on. Om Namo Narayanaya. Just constant going on his head. Therefore, he gets a son. She gets pregnant with the most exalted soul in the universe. The Bhagavatam cites 12 Mahajans. Give us a Mahajan. Give us one. 12 authorities in spiritual life. Bhishma, Yamaraj, come on, you got 12. There's only 2. There's a lot of choices.
I'm just gonna be throwing out names.
Prahlad, throw some names out. Prahlad. What? Manu? Let's see.
I think so.
All right. Bhishma. Yeah, Manu. That's in the verse. Yeah. Bhishma Kapilo de Kapila. Then Vyasa. Narada.
Okay.
Shukadev. I think we already mentioned Prahlad.
Okay.
Vidura.
Mm.
Let's see. I know the 4 Kumaras are 1, but I think they only count as 1 because we're already at 10. That okay? We'll give up right there. Brahma and Shiva. Yeah, there you go. There's 12. Brahma and Shiva. But Prahlad is considered the most exalted all of them. All of them, he's considered most exalted. And so she was carrying this very exalted child. And again, Hiranyakashipu went to do austerities. And this time he did it in petition of Lord Brahma. And he stood on the tips of his toes and had his hands in the air. And with his intense fixation and desire, he stood there for thousands of years till everything was eaten off of his food. All the flesh was eaten off, and he was that vital force. Someone posted something. The vital force of the universe. Srimad Bhagavatam. Someone posted something and showed up. Yeah, that his vital force with his intensity. He was circulating his vital force, his life force through his bones. Just as so strong was his austerity, intention, and clarity of his desire. And he was the first person to start global warming. The demigod started to feel this tapas, this heat of austerity permeating from his body and radiating throughout the universe, to the point they asked Brahma, please just give this guy whatever he wants. We can't take this heat anymore. And so Brahma comes with his transcendental kamandalu, his water pot, sprinkles water on his body and grants him a newly refreshed, powerful body. And he says, what would you like? What does he say?
He asked for eternity.
Make me eternal.
Yeah.
Brahma
and Brahma
says,
said, no, I don't. I can't. I'm not even.
I'm not eternal, yeah.
Yeah.
He says, Brahma says, I live for 311 trillion, 40 billion years. Not eternal. I live for a breath of Vishnu. I can't provide what I don't have. Let's see if I can. Can I unpin it? Yeah, let me remove pin. That way, if somebody else talks, it will show on video. So he says, I can't provide what I don't have. And so he thought, okay, let me get eternity some way. So can you grant me the boon that I'm not killed daytime or nighttime? So be it. Can you grant me the boon that I'm not killed by man, beast, or God? So be it. Can you grant me the boon that I'm not killed inside or outside? So be it. Can you grant me the boon that I'm not killed by any weapons? So be it. Can you grant me the boon that I'm not killed by anything that's living or dead? So be it. Can you grant me the boon that I'm not killed by mantra or tantra? So be it. And so in this way, he was going around pestering, taking over the universe like this. And while he was during that long period of austerities, now these are not human beings, these are extraordinary beings. So here's someone's at the door. Mr. Jason's here at the door. Hare Krishna. So while he was doing these extraordinary austerities, the demigods were in fear. They said, well, first of all, they reconquered their kingdom. They reconquered the Indraloka and kidnapped the wife of Hiranyakashipu and decided we have to kill the child within the womb. This child will be another great demon that will torment the universe. And so Narada Muni appeared in front of the demigods and said, you can't kill this child even if you try. And if you try, you're going to anger the Supreme Lord. Let her stay with me. And so she stayed with Kayadu, that's her name. She stayed with Narada Muni at his ashram. Some say the ashram was at Govardhan Hill at Naradakun. So she stayed at his ashram. And at ashrams, what do you hear? What happens in ashrams?
So I think
the shloka class. They recite the shlokas. You have all the kids. Chintamani prakara sadmashukal praviksha. So they're chanting all these shlokas, and the child within the womb is hearing all this and is becoming nicely encouraged. So he's hearing from Narada. And then when Hiranyakashipu finishes his austerities, she returns home with this child who is extremely elevated. How elevated? the greatest of all the Mahajans, the 12 Mahajans, Shiva, Brahma, Vyasa, Narada, Prahlad is considered the most exalted. And so his father, when he becomes aware of this devotion to his enemy, becomes furious. First, he tries to, maybe he kills a few teachers, saying like, where did this come from? Where has he learned about my enemy? And then he decides, let me just, after sitting on his lap and a second time saying, oh, dear son, what did you learn at school? And his son says, oh, Kumar Acharet Pragyo Dharman Bhagavitaniha Durlabha Manusham Janma Tat Attadruva Martadam. It says a person who's intelligent from the very beginning of his childhood worships the Supreme Lord. Bhagavat Dharma, follows the path of Bhagavat Dharma, understanding that is the highest gift that human life can provide, even though human life is so shortly lived. And my dear father, you should give up this whole materialistic life, enter the forest and worship the Supreme Lord. And so at this point, he decided to kill this son. What were some of the ways that he tried to kill Prahlad, Mr. Jason Starkey?
He tried to drown him, throw him off a cliff.
So drown him, that's how do you do that?
Drown him. You like get a whole bunch of people step on him.
No, you gotta get the cement truck.
Oh yeah.
You gotta talk in an Italian voice. So they did the mafia. You want to go for a swim? So they tried to drown. They tried to rock him. Like that. Yeah. Didn't work.
Yeah, he's chanting the Om Namo Bhagavate the whole time.
Oh.
Yeah, possibly.
Now, what was another one?
They tried to throw him off a cliff.
Throw him off a cliff.
Didn't they try to poison him?
Poison him. He ate the poisoned food. He offered it to the Lord and ate poisoned food. There was a story of Raghunath, a devotee of Lord Jagannath, who ate poisoned food and died, and the Lord brought him back to life. That's the story that includes a vampire, a Vedic vampire. But Prahlad Maharaj didn't even die when he ate this poisoned food. He threw him in a pit
Of snakes.
snakes. My Lord lies on a bed of snakes. What are you trying to do? Come on.
He poured hot oil on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Or put him
In a pot of hot oil. Or I don't know. Well, the movie has him in the pot. Maybe it was poured in the Bhagavatam. We got to check it out. Yeah. He's like, and then the pot turns into a pot of like petals.
Oh,
Yeah, it turns into a pot of like rose petals.
I'm gonna watch this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch this.
And then tried to pierce them with weapons. There's that painting of they're coming at four corners at him. All these little gremlins coming at him. And then there's
Didn't
What
they
else?
try to kill him by like a stampede of elephants?
they tried to tear this 5-year-old body apart by tying his legs and arms and to rip him apart with the strength of elephants. Where'd you get your power? His father said. He said, the same place you do, O king of demons. Krishna. He says, where is your Krishna? Where is your Vishnu? Where is your Lord? He's everywhere. And he says, is he in this pillar? And Prahlad looked. Prahlad said yes. Because as soon as he said yes, the Lord actually was there in the pillar. And so Prahlad could actually see him in the pillar. So yes, he's right there. Hiranyakashipu went over there, smashed his fist against the pillar, pulled his sword out. Then I don't know what Vishaka's. Oh, maybe. No, you read your books. Okay, I don't know. And guys, eat something. And out of the pillar came Nṛsiṁha. Nara means
Man.
man. If you really read Padma Purana, there was some story where Brahma had 5 heads and he was extremely effulgent, and all the demigods became very jealous. Like, hey, we didn't sign up to do so many lifetimes of austerities just to be chumps. He's too much effulgent. And they complained to Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva chopped off his 5th head.
I have a question.
And
Why
then-
did you change this moldy already?
I don't know.
That's great.
Well, I'm gonna go eat something else then.
But it has, this one has mold.
Okay, cut it.
It has green, like which
Some people pay.
Some
extra
cheese
for
are like that. Ramanand, if you want to ask questions and come here to the class.
that. They pay extra for that.
All right, so we're at what?
He's in the pillar.
The pillar. Okay. Well, the Shiva chopped the head of Brahma off, and then Brahma got mad, and he created this being, this monster from his forehead sweat. Or yeah, from his forehead sweat.
that's wrong.
And hold on. You want to hear that? Let me look it up. Forehead sweat, not monster.
Forehead sweat.
Okay. I was just looking at it. I was just looking at my notes.
It was gonna snow at 8 a.m.
Maybe.
8 a.m.
Maybe.
They said it 100%.
Okay. Kill the sweat guy. Oh, that's the name of the note. This is the story. Okay. So this sweat monster appeared. And he said, kill this Shiva. And then Shiva ran to Vishnu for help. And then he took the head of Brahma and mixed like celestial blood with his finger. This is like where the witches, like they have the witches brew. So he was mixing it with his finger and his 3rd eye. And it was turned into a bubble. And then the bubble turned into a lump. And out of the lump, a man came. And then they said, who are you? And he said, I am man. But he spoke Sanskrit. He said, I am Nara. And he said, okay, man. And then Vishnu appeared. And he said, who's this? He said, that's man. And he'll be your friend. His name is Nara. And you will appear as Nara Narayan. You guys will have your own incarnation together. He is your eternal friend. Later, he'll be known by the name of Arjuna. So man and forehead sweat guy got in a big fight. And man killed him. And then Brahma was like, hey, this is not cool. So then they told him, don't worry, he'll show his prowess again in his next life. And so the next life was Karna. Arjuna, they had another fight again. He said, please let him come back to life again. All right, so what does Nara mean? Man. Because the guy came out and he said, what's your name? My man. And what does Simha mean? Lion. What else does it mean? Simha. What's the movie?
Lion King. Baby.
Come on.
King.
Hey, it also means king. No. Simha. What religious tradition does everybody have the same last name?
Sheik.
Sikh. What's the last name they have?
Sing.
Singh. Now, what happens when you take Sanskrit and you bring it into more of the modern languages? What do you do to Sanskrit words? It's Arjuna, and now it becomes Arjun. Take off the A of anything that's not feminine. It's a long A, you keep it. Like you don't say Rod or Pramin. you say, you say, but for the short A's, you cut it off. So Singha becomes Sing. because Singh is king. The Sikh tradition is a tradition of Kshatriyas, warriors, of kings that uphold religious protection of others. Sometimes they fight to protect the rights of Hindus. So the Lord appeared in this lion king, lion man form, and he fought and still upheld all the boons of Brahma. It wasn't daytime or nighttime. It wasn't inside or outside. It was dusk. It was in the doorway. It wasn't on land, sky, or sea. It was on his lap. It wasn't weapons. It was nails. But it wasn't living nor dead. What was that? Living nor dead.
Nails are not
Nails,
living.
yeah. Nails are not living or dead. Can't put in. You can't, like, what check box do you put it in? Can't. They're trans living. You can't put it in a check box. So, Prahlad was protected by the Lord, and then the Lord put his hand on Prahlad's head. Prahlad spoke eloquent prayers and garlanded him. All the demigods were frightened by this mama cat form of the Lord, because this is the form of the Lord exhibiting his great love and devotion and protective anger towards the assault of his dear servants. And so everybody was afraid. Brahma, Shiva, they're all afraid. So they're like kind of pushing the boy, like, hey, chill him out. Like, give him a garland or something. Make him happy, because he's just roaring there and it's just scaring us. There's so many powerful things we can't even imagine. It said an ordinary person, like if you read the Ramayana, the bow that Ram broke. It's an ordinary person can't even look at it. It's so powerful. Can't even look at it. And the powerful Kshatriyas who beat thousands of people can't even move it. To speak of like seeing the Nṛsiṁhadeva, even the gods are like can't even look at him. It's like, it's like he's too scary. It's just like frightening as anything. So that's Prahlad. Dana K, you heard that story before?
Wait, I have a question. When Prahlad puts the garland on Nṛsiṁhadeva, does he be transformed into Shanti Nṛsiṁhadeva?
Yeah.
So he's kind of like,
he turns into peaceful Nṛsiṁhadeva after that. Dana K, you've heard that one before?
I've heard pieces of it, but that was like the extended version, so that was really good. I like that.
Nice. So Jace and I, we read yesterday. We read about this question. There's different avatars. There's different forms of the Lord. This is a cool book called the Lagu Bhagavatamrita, by Srila Rupa Goswami, the author of the Nectar of Devotion. And just like Sanatana Goswami wrote the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, which is about 3 volumes, a little tiny bit thicker maybe, but just around 3 volumes of size, which is the essence, the Amrita, the nectarian essence of the Bhagavatam put together very shortly. The Lagu Bhagavatam, Lagu is light. Little. Brihad is big. This is getting the essence of the whole Bhagavatam in one book. And mainly about Krishna's supreme, sublime position. So you have the 3 different kinds of Krishna's forms. Swayam Rupa, Tade Tatma Rupa, Vila, Swams, and then his Swamsa, Vivesha, Prakash, all these different forms, different avatars. Then it talks about Yuga avatars and Leela avatars, Guna avatars, Purusha avatars. And then it talks about Paravasta, which is like this is like, let's see an actual definition. Paravasta. Because the question is, Hiranyakashipu, after being killed by Nṛsiṁhadeva, did not go straight to the spiritual world. Or Shishupal, who was
He
killed
got
by
two more
Krishna.
lives.
Yeah. But in principle, the demons that are killed by Ram and Nṛsiṁha aren't liberated.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why
Why
not?
is that?
Where?
is
Why?
that?
Why?
That's what the book is going to answer. Okay, so let's hear just the first definition of parivashta. Ayendram. Now, paravasta forms. According to the Padma Purana, Nṛsiṁha, Ramachandra, and Krishna, this is, we find purports of Prabhupada. Bhagavad Gita talks about 3 special forms, are complete in all 6 qualities. This is in comparison to like different Purusha incarnations. He's talking about Narayan, etc. They are paravasta forms of the Supreme Lord, like lamps lit from another lamp. The perfections of Godhead are exhibited to different degrees by various expansions of Krishna, who alone fully exhibits all 6 qualities of perfection. The 3 most glorious forms of the Supreme Lord are designated in the Vedic literature as Paravasta, most perfect. The Lord exhibits his perfections in progressively greater completeness as Nṛsiṁha, Ramachandra, and finally his ultimate form of Krishna. Okay, so the question was brought up. And so the answer was given. Here, let's. This is all about Ramachandra, Lord Nṛsiṁha. Lord Ramachandra. Also, they leading up to that, they quote Bilvamangal Thakur. Bilvamangal Thakur. Tell us something about Bilvamangal Thakur. Bilvamangal Thakur. Somebody tell us something. Or do you take some sticks and poke his eyes about out in the movie? Gotta see that. That's a. You want to see some gory stuff? Watch that movie.
Which one is that one?
Bilvamangal Thakur.
Oh, that's the name.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a movie, dude.
All right.
You got it. It's in that
CD.
DVD set.
Is anyone else have a snow day tomorrow? 'Cause I do. Let's big
Yeah.
watch movies all day.
Yeah, it's in that DVD set. You have that one.
Oh, you're not going to.
That was kind of gory.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm
Okay.
if you want to go, the first day of training, watch a movie.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. It might be on
Okay.
YouTube or Christian Tube or something like that. Yeah. There's a similar story in the Padma Purana, but he was devotee, and then, but he became really degraded, and he was to go see his favorite girlfriend. He was like, it was like a storm. It was like his dad's funeral. And he's a priest. Like you're a priest and you got to do this stuff at your dad's funeral. But all the time he's not thinking about his dad's funeral. He's thinking about, I need to go see my girlfriend. They call just a prostitute actually. And it was a monsoon, like it was a crazy storm. And he decided he was going to swim across this crazy river. And he grabbed onto what he thought was a log, but it was a dead body, grabbed onto the body to swim across. And then he was like trying to climb over a wall, but it ended up being a snake, not a rope or a vine. So much trouble. And then he finally sees her, and he said, when he sees her, she tells him, if you had this same dedication to Krishna, you would be an exalted saint. And her words slapped him out of illusion. And therefore he celebrates Chintamani the prostitute as his guru. And he went to Vrindavan and he wrote beautiful poems. So, but this one of this, they quote a verse. Certainly, it's the lotus-eyed, navel, Supreme Personality of Godhead has many exalted, auspicious incarnations, but among them, who other than Krishna gives love of God even to the creepers? Krishna is this darling son of Devaki is an unprecedented ocean of nectar filled with supreme opulence and sweetness. So Krishna he is sweet, so sweet. Just saturated, oozing sweetness. So much sweetness. What was the line we read? Krishna insinuates himself into the heart of the demon that he kills with his transcendental charm of his names and pastimes and form. That sweetness is not insinuated in the form of Brahma Nṛsiṁha. Lord Hiranyakashipu did not see Lord Nṛsiṁha as God. He did not have that. So when he died, his result is that his next life, he was given great powers, but not any type of spiritualization. Same thing with Ramachandra. He saw him as just another exalted being. But Shishupal, when he died, he was constantly berating Krishna verbally and within his mind. Krishna this, Krishna that, Krishna this, Krishna that. Shakshi Gopal can remember when he was just a little kid and we went on Kirtan in downtown Dallas, and there was a Christian on a soapbox, like a literal soapbox. And he was like, Krishna's the devil. Krishna's going to take you to hell. Krishna, 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 Krishna. And he was going nuts. He was going nuts. One devotee, she got really upset. I'm not going to say what she did, but there was a debate. Like, this guy she was like, he was making offenses, but if you don't even know what you're saying, it's not really offensive. Like, you don't even know who Krishna is, just saying stuff. Yeah. But he was like, every other word out of his mouth was Krishna. We're just like, this guy chanting on the street, Krishna, Krishna. He's like Shishupal. And so, yeah, Shishupal, as soon as he was killed, his soul merged into the body of Krishna. All right, Sakshi, how do you vote?
Thank you, guys. See you guys.
So that's the answer to that little question, the short answer. All right, we're kind of here at the end. How's everybody doing?
Yeah. All right.
Give us
Okay.
Yeah.
a take home. What's something you want to take home with you today?
No, DVD. I got DVD.
I actually
I got.
I like how Kaustuba and Raghunath were talking the other day about how Daksha has this situation with Shiva because he got the same problem. He saw with his eyes, not like the same problem that Jai and Vijay had with the Kumars. They saw with the eyes, they used the organs, not spirituality to see through.
Yeah.
Daksha was the same. He was like, oh, why these guys doing this? So it reminds me once again, like, don't judge on your senses, because there might be more to it that we don't know.
That's true. Thank you. This is Dana K. What's your take home today? Thank you, Jason Starkey.
I don't know. I've got a lot. That was like so good, and I love the way you tell stories, Matt. Because like you keep me intrigued and keep me. So I was just thinking, like, while you're doing that, I was like, I don't know, maybe you already did this, but like record you telling all these stories because they're like so good to like listen to before bed and that. But that'd be so cool.
I did do. It's not my storytelling, but I did do an audio book of Shiva Ram Swami's he has a whole book on Krishna's, the story being being tied up by his mother. Usually, if you read a Krishna book, it's 3 pages, but he took all the compilations of the different acharyas and took that story and made it into a big, inch thick book. And 2 years ago, we have Kartik, that holy month, and they say, do something special. And so that month I decided, okay, I'm going to record myself narrating the book. I'm going to record like a chapter or whatever, how much I can record a day. And it was just basically, one 30-minute, 45-minute recording a day, and that filled up the entire month. And then after the whole month was over, I published like 1, 2, 3, introduction part 1, introduction part 2, introduction part 3. And then I realized, my God, this is going to take a whole lot of work. And I stopped because you have to go and edit all the pauses. Like, because I would read like this, I would read like this, meaning I would just read and then I would just repeat. If I made a mistake, I would just go back and repeat. And then I have to cut that section out. And that would be constantly. And so it wasn't until the last year, Kartik, October, November time, I decided, okay, I'm going to have to spend even more time, like hour and a half a day, every day, and just publish this thing. Otherwise, it's just going to sit there for, until I die or whatever. It's just never going to get out there. And
Wow,
that was
lots of work.
that's a cool one to listen to.
Okay, cool. Do you have it out somewhere?
It's on my YouTube channel, and it's also on SoundCloud.
Awesome.
It's really sweet. And I would suggest you can skip the introduction. You can just start where the story starts, because sometimes the introduction, some of these have like a lot of bullet points, and if you hear that narrated, is maybe a little hard to follow. Follow bullet points or something, but hearing the story, it's kind of easier. And then, which I think Carmen asked us to come live, do our thing live. So let's do it live every Wednesday.
Yay, Carmen.
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to be here every Wednesday and listen to this. I mean, I could be on Wednesday. It's like middle of the week. I don't do much, so I'll be watching something. I'd rather be here with you in association and listen to great stories and all that. I'd rather.
You got a kirtan and
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
Carmen, let's give us something to take home. What do you want to take home?
So it would be to like always see with your spiritual senses in a way,
Nice.
where you can like see the spirit soul in everyone's heart, and also that as long as you have like full faith in Krishna, he will always be there to protect you.
Yes, that's one of the 6 elements of surrender. Anakulyena sankalpe partikulyena varjitnam rakshasati vishvaso guptitve varnam tata. Sad something sharanagati. These are the 6 elements of surrender. Accepting things that are favorable for Krishna service, rejecting things that are unfavorable for your spiritual life. Anukulena sankalpe partikulena varjanam. Rakshati, always seeing Krishna as one's Lord and protector. And Atmanikshepa, something full surrender of body, mind, and soul. I have to look it up. It's a little bit rusty in my mind. But yes, seeing Krishna as one's only refuge. Thank you for sharing.
Oh wait, I have one more.
Oh yes.
And then that Krishna will never fail to amaze you. He has many ways to amaze his devotees, and it's crazy.
Nice, nice. And he's charming. He is the most beautiful and charming, and like the story, he was teasing Rukmini. He was like, Rukmini is actually expansion of there's two like main gopis. You have Radharani and kind of like her antagonist is Chandravali. And Radharani appears as Satyabhama. So Satyabhama is a little bit more spicy with Krishna. And Rukmini she's considered, there's like what they call left wing and right wing gopis. So the left wing gopis are a little bit like more spicy, a little bit like, challenge Krishna. And he was trying to get he was telling a joke just to get like some kind of reaction, but she just started crying. Like he told Rukmini, like, maybe like you should go marry somebody else because who am I? Like nobody knows what my Varna is. Am I a cowherd boy? Am I a son of a king? And he started making all these like jokes, and she took it so seriously that she actually she fainted. But Krishna, he's such a handsome chap that he just like immediately manifests 4 arms. He caught her, and with his 2 arms, he's holding her. On the other arm, he's like moving the hair out of her face. On the other hand, he's fanning her. So, yeah, he's a real charmer, Prince Charming. And what's that? I couldn't remember that verse. There's a special verse. It says, if you are attached to your money, your house, your prestige, and don't see that boy who's playing the flute by the banks of the Yamuna River, because he will steal your heart and he won't care about anything anymore. He'll just care about him. You won't care about your fame and power and prestige and business and this. None of that will be. It'll be all like nothing to you, worthless to you, unless you can figure out how you can offer that to Krishna somehow, engage it in his service. You're like, I don't care for any of it. So they said, I think it was Rupa Goswami, he said, don't see Krishna. A negative instruction. If you attach those things, don't see Krishna, because he'll steal your heart. That was our verse that we did in our practice. Ganesh and Dana K. Remember this word, Hari Chitta means to steal.
Mhm.
This is Manohar, the stealer of the mind, Chittahar, our heart, because mind and heart are kind of synonymous terms in Vedic. Mind is the means, not really an intelligence, but where the seat of attachment and aversion. And so he will steal that attachment, that your heart, basically, where you place your heart. Your heart will just automatically, like Prahlad Maharaj says. What does he say to his father? He says, my heart is automatically attracted to the Lord, just like iron filings to a magnet. Can't help it.
So basically, I like these rings.
Basically, don't worship Krishna. He will steal your heart. Sorry.
So basically, in the process of anartha nibriti, it's not us who call it. It's Krishna himself.
Yes.
It's not us, right? Because we always say, "Oh no, yeah, I've been cleaning my consciousness." It's like, not really.
Yeah, that's true. It's not our mental fortitude. We chant not with our mental powers. Because what kind of mental power you have at the time of death? Think about how weak your mind is when you're really sick.
Bad. It's super bad.
Or gone.
Yeah. It's not about that mental strength. You know, it's not about that. It's not some yogic strength or whatever. It's about, what did Draupadi do? Her rope was being, her sari was being ripped off of her, and she pulled out one arm out. Well, first she yelled out, Krishna, holding on. Nothing happened. Then she put out one arm, Krishna, Krishna. Nothing happened. And then she put out both arms and she said, Krishna, Krishna. And then immediately she had unlimited saris coming, you know, it's just like unlimited fabric coming out. And she asked Krishna, what happened? You know, I thought you would be there. He said, well, it looked like you had it taken care of. Like you didn't need me. You were doing it yourself. You know, I was like, when you put your both eyes, like, oh, I guess she does need me now. Then I boom, immediately. So a lot of times we're like, Krishna, but you know, I don't really need you, but I'm just saying it. You know, I'm gonna be like, Krishna, I need you. Like a baby is crying for his mother.
Yeah. It reminds me, like before I start to get into association with devotees. For example, I jump into a door or something and I'll curse. I'll curse bad, super bad.
Yeah.
And then nowadays I go like, oh, Krishna.
Yeah.
People look at me like, is that cursing? Like, no.
What language is he cursing in?
Yeah. It's like, oh, Krishna. And they're like,
yeah, I remember being with like the devotees that live in the temple, and then we're in the ice and the van, and immediately Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Everybody starts like, it's like immediately the drivers just start chanting. Everybody in a previous setting, we would all like saying different words of excrement, and then who knows what kind of birth we get. Thinking about excrement. So better auspicious destination. Yeah, I think Krishna. And what does Krishna say in the Kurma Purana? And Prabhupada mentions in the Bhagavatam, and Ramanujacharya asked this question and gets the same answer. Krishna says, in the Kurma Purana, it says, if my devotee fails to remember me at the time of death due to extreme circumstances, then I will remember my devotee. So we're trying to get Krishna to remember us. Like Prabhupada said, first deserve, then desire. Serve Krishna in such a way that he wants to come and see you. Wow. Prabhupada said we want to get the certificate from Krishna that this man has done something. This person has done something for me. We serve Krishna in such a way that I got to see this person. I got to come and meet this person. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much.
All right. So hopefully we'll see you guys next Wednesday.
Yes.
All right. And we'll continue our Bhagavad Gita class on Sunday mornings. Keep on going. Next verse is
21.
Yo, yum, tanum bhakta. Tada architam ichati. Tasa chalam shadam tamavidam yam. So this is a continuation of that worship. Those who worship demigods, they do because they're driven by material desires. And Krishna is saying, I am the one that's actually instilling the person's faith in such demigods. I provide the faith and I provide the result. It's all coming from me. Yes.
I was reading it the other day when you sent the email, and I was thinking, like, so it's like if I do this kind of relationship with demigods, isn't like doing business with someone else. I give you give me this, I give you that.
Yeah, it's business.
Right? It's so like I don't know. I thought of that because I read it and I was like, yeah, but I mean, the ultimate goal for bhakti yogis and devotees is not to get this.
Yeah.
It's not even karma yoga, right? It's even
Yeah.
lower than that.
Well, that would be yeah. There's karma kanda,
Yeah.
which is where you're like daksha, just doing
Yes.
those rituals to get something out of it.
Yeah.
Karma yoga is more of that union where you're trying to satisfy that you're trying to get that connection.
Okay. But it's more like a business related relationship with demigods, which is so materialistic. It's empty in the end, right?
Yeah. Well, I was just reading Chaitanya Shikshamrita by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and he describes different levels of religiosity. Bottom level, someone comes to practice religion out of fear. Next level, out of hope to gain something.
Exploitative.
Yeah, some I'm getting some rewards. Next level, out of duty, out of gratitude. And the highest level, which is the level of rag, is out of attachment, out of genuine attachment. Like, someone could, just have genuine attachment for their mother. Someone at least should have some gratitude. Or maybe they're just, mama, give me this. And they just have a real, they just want to get something from the mother and they don't really care so much. Or maybe they're just like some very abusive kind of, what do you call it? What's the word? Common word we use now? It's a toxic relationship. We're just like afraid, like just listen, they're just, it's some toxic relationship with the parents where they're just afraid of them. That's it. So highest is just actual attachment.
That was great.
The platform of gratitude and duty, we can work from there and actually develop attachment. This year.
And how do we relate these to the 4 reasons why people come closer to Krishna consciousness, like
Chaturvidabhajantemam. It's very similar. You got the distressed, seeking wealth.
Yeah, well.
And the curious one. The curious one is someone who they have knowledge, and so with that knowledge, you're going to be grateful. And the Brahmana, then the Jnani. The next verse says, "Is a Jnani who is eka bhakti vishishtite." He's fixed in devotion, fixed in attachment.
Yeah. This was super good class.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Super good Krishna, that's why. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great
Hare
night,
Krishna.
everyone.
Thank you. Hari Hari. Om
Hari.
Tat Sat.
Hari.
Thanks a lot. Hari Hari Bo.